For more than 2 decades, fans of The Sopranos have argued, debated, and obsessed over one question. Did Silvio Dante actually die at the end of the show? The series famously left many storylines unresolved, and while most people focus on Tony's ambiguous final scene, Silvio's fate is almost equally mysterious. We see him go down in a brutal ambush, we see him unconscious in a hospital bed, and we hear that his chances are not good. But the show never tells us what ultimately happened. Did Silvio die from his injuries? Did he stay in a coma forever? Or did he somehow manage to survive? Today we're going deep into all the evidence, all the behind-the-scenes details, and everything the creators have ever said to finally answer the question, did Silvio Dante die? To understand Silvio's fate, we first need to understand who he was in the world of The Sopranos. Silvio Dante wasn't just another soldier or another member of Tony's crew. He was the consigliere, the calm voice of reason, the guy Tony trusted more than anyone else. When Paulie was losing his mind, when Christopher was using again, when chaos was erupting everywhere, Silvio was the one who stayed level-headed. He was loyal, disciplined, and deeply committed to the old-school mafia code. That's what made him such a fan favorite, and that's also what made his downfall so shocking. If anyone in that show seemed untouchable, it was Silvio. So when he was ambushed in the final episodes, it hit fans harder than almost any other moment. The attack itself is one of the most dramatic scenes in the final season. Silvio and Patsy are leaving the Bada Bing, walking toward their car, joking, relaxed, not realizing that the New York hitmen are waiting for them. The moment Silvio opens the door, gunfire explodes from both sides. Patsy manages to run away, but Silvio is struck multiple times and collapses instantly. The way the scene is filmed, fast, violent, chaotic, drives home how unpredictable this mafia world is. No matter how smart or calm you are, bullets don't discriminate. And Silvio, Tony's most trusted advisor, went down in the kind of street attack that ended so many mob careers. But the important part is this: the show never shows him die. The next time we see Silvio, he's lying in a hospital bed. Tubes everywhere, machines keeping him alive. Tony stands over him, clearly devastated. A doctor explains that Silvio is in a coma and unlikely to wake up in the immediate future. The exact words used are he has significant swelling and his prognosis is guarded. In medical terms, guarded usually means the situation is serious, but not hopeless. The scene is emotional, but it also leaves the door open. The doctor does not say Silvio will die. He does not say Silvio is brain dead. He simply says his condition is critical. This deliberate vagueness is important because The Sopranos almost never gives answers directly. The entire final season is built around loose ends, unfinished business, and the idea that people in the mob don't get clean endings. Some die suddenly, some slowly fade away, and some simply disappear from the story. Silvio's final scene perfectly fits this storytelling style. And that raises the big question: what did David Chase, the creator of the series, actually intend? The interesting thing is that David Chase has been asked about Silvio's fate multiple times over the years, and every time he gives the same kind of answer. Unclear, but leaning toward he did not die. In one interview, Chase was asked directly whether Silvio died. His response: "We never said he died." That might sound simple, but coming from Chase, that's actually meaningful. He is extremely careful about what he confirms and denies. When talking about other character deaths, he has been very clear. With Silvio, never. Steve Van Zandt, the actor who played Silvio, has also commented on this. In multiple interviews, he has said that he always assumed Silvio survived. In his words, if they wanted him dead, they would have shown it. This matches the way the show usually handles major character deaths. When Big Pussy died, we saw it. When Adriana died, we saw it. When Bobby died, we saw it. When Christopher died, we saw it. The Sopranos almost never leaves important deaths off-screen. The show wants viewers to feel the impact. So it's strange that if Silvio were truly meant to die, they would hide it. That's the strongest argument for his survival. But there's another angle. Even if Silvio survived the immediate shooting, what would his future look like? A coma with severe brain trauma is not something you just wake up from and go back to running a strip club. The reality is that Silvio, even if alive, would likely never return to his old role. In the final episodes, New Jersey is collapsing, Tony is fighting for his life, and the family is in total disarray. Even if Silvio survived physically, The world he knew was effectively dead. The crew was scattering, the leadership structure was falling apart, and law enforcement was closing in. So for storytelling purposes, Silvio being alive but in a coma symbolized the death of the old mafia structure. It was the perfect metaphor, the consigliere, the backbone of the family, left frozen in time, unable to help. Some fans argue that the coma itself is the answer, that Silvio is essentially dead in the thematic sense, even if his body is technically still alive. And that's very possible. Chase loves symbolic endings. Silvio's character being left in a limbo state mirrors Tony's own ambiguous ending. Tony might be alive, Silvio might be alive, but the world they lived in is dead. There is also a fascinating detail from the original script drafts. Early versions of the final season included scenes that hinted Silvio might eventually recover. These scenes were never filmed, but they show that the writers at least entertained the idea that Silvio could survive. That doesn't mean Chase changed his mind, it just means the final version intentionally left things open for interpretation. Then there's the reality of the mafia world. Historically, many real-life mobsters survived assassination attempts but were left permanently incapacitated. Some stayed in comas for years. Some woke up but were never the same. Silvio's fate fits this real-world pattern very closely. It doesn't feel like a dramatic death scene. It feels more like a medically realistic outcome. Severe injury, long-term coma, uncertain future. So let's put all the pieces together. What do we actually know? We know Silvio was shot multiple times and left in critical condition. We know he was in a coma, not brain dead. We know the doctors did not declare him beyond saving. We know David Chase never said he died. We know the show did not follow its usual pattern for major character deaths. We know the actor believes Silvio survived. And we know The Sopranos loves open-ended fates. All of that points to one conclusion. Silvio Dante did not canonically die. He was left in a coma with an uncertain future, but the show deliberately avoided confirming his death. If anything, the canon ending is that Silvio survived the shooting, but would likely never return to full consciousness or his former life. His story ends not with a dramatic death, but with a silent, emotional fade-out, one of the show's saddest endings. In many ways, Silvio's fate is more powerful than an on-screen death. An instant death would have been quick, brutal, and final, but leaving him alive, trapped between life and death, mirrors the show's philosophy about the mob. There is no closure, there is no clean ending, there is only the slow collapse of everything these characters built. Silvio, the man who always held the family together, ends his story unable to help anyone, not even himself. And that, in its own tragic way, is the perfect Sopranos ending. So, did Silvio Dante die? The most accurate answer is no, he didn't die, at least not in the show. His body survives, his fate is uncertain, and the show leaves the rest to the audience. Whether you choose to believe he eventually passed away off-screen, or whether you imagine him waking up years later, is entirely up to you. That's the beauty of The Sopranos. It gives you just enough to think, but never enough to be sure. And maybe that was the point all along. Tony's fate is ambiguous. Silvio's fate is ambiguous. The mafia world is chaotic, unpredictable, and full of loose ends. In a series built on mystery, Silvio's ambiguous ending fits perfectly. He may not have died on screen, but the life he once lived is gone forever. In the end, Silvio Dante's fate remains one of the most haunting, unanswered questions in The Sopranos, and maybe that's exactly how David Chase wanted it.